Today is the 2nd of January, 2024, New Year. My thinking was to start out our new year slowly. I said so in the last episode, and I will deliver on the same. To start out this year slowly. I reckon that will be difficult to do, and that's why I feel that it is important to do so. Starting out slowly means that in the 21-point STAR framework of emotional skills that I have put together, there is one of the 5 difficult situations which is really at the base of going slowly, feeling safe, building trust with ourselves, and overall having the energy that we need to go forward. And the situation I'm talking about is the sleep situation. It is symbolized by the 3 dark blue letters C, like in those comic books when a character is sleeping and there are these letters C's coming out of their mouths. Usually, when we listen to people talk about sleep, much of the material out there regarding sleep talks about sleep as somewhat of an entity. There's a lot of talking about how many hours of sleep we get. There's a lot of talk about getting regular sleep, getting high quality sleep, and basically sleep is something we talk a lot about. We talk about REM sleep, deep sleep, irregular sleep, sleep issues, trouble falling asleep, having anxiety as we wake up, not wanting to go to sleep at all. You get the picture. Sleep can feel very troubling, very confusing, almost overwhelming. However, the way that I will talk about our sleep situation is not to focus on sleep at all. Instead, what I have found to be true for me is that what I need to focus on is not sleep in itself, but something other. What I need to focus on is how to create predictability in my life. Predictability, everything in life, no matter what it is, things can surprise us, or things can play out the way we predict them to do. And when things do play out the way we predict them to do, then we will experience that as rest. And what we will look for in this material, what I will talk about, is how to create predictable rest. I will not talk about sleep. I will talk about predictable rest. And when we create predictable rest, because this is under our control, creating predictable rest is under our control. And once we achieve that, then sometimes, not always, but often, sleep becomes like a rest product, like a second-hand product coming or stemming from the predictable rest. So if we want the fruit of sleep, so to speak, to use a metaphor, if we want the fruit of sleep, we need to plant the tree of predictability. We cannot plant an apple and get an apple just like that. We have to plant something and get a tree first, and then we will get the fruit. This is the smart way to go about it. So then the second question for you, the listener, becomes, what does he mean when he talks about rest? What is rest? I will start out by giving a few personal examples of what I specifically mean by rest, and then I will make an attempt to generalize my personal examples so you can find them in your own life. Predictable rest in my life is starting out with when I wake up, my mornings. I do my mornings exactly the same every morning. I make the same breakfast, the same warm oatmeal, the same cup of coffee, the same cup, the same tray, the same vitamins, and the same glass of water. I sit in the same spot, in the same couch. I sit by myself. So there is no one else there who can move in unpredictable ways. It's just me. I look at my wall where I have my 21-point star framework of emotional skills. I think about that, my craft, my work, developing this framework for you. Or I stare out into space, just not really looking at anything, not really thinking about anything. Some thoughts come, some thoughts go. Some feelings come, some feelings go. I feel anxious, the anxiety goes. I feel excited about something. Maybe that stays, maybe that goes. And I sit like that for a long time, actually. I sit like that for maybe at least 1 hour minimum, but often I sit 2-3 hours like that. That is not something I just started one day to sit 3 hours. Of course not. I have worked my way up to that. I worked my way up to that for, I would say, maybe the last 8 years, 7-8 years. So every day, my everyday starts out with a couple of hours of complete predictability. I know exactly what is going to happen in the first couple of hours of my day. And so it doesn't really matter how many hours of sleep I have got. It doesn't really matter if I dreamt nightmares or slept soundly, because those hours of predictable rest are the same regardless. So I have had a lot of trouble sleeping in my life. And sleep comes and sleep goes. Sometimes I sleep like a baby for 10 hours. And sometimes it is hard getting just a few hours of sleep. Sleep comes and goes quite mysteriously sometimes. So that is why I really put emphasis on the need, on our need for predictability, for predictable rest. It would seem sad if just because I cannot sleep, I'm not having any rest at all. So I am giving myself rest so that I don't have to be as worried about my sleep, because I have something complementary to my sleep. I have rest. I have predictable rest. Maybe if I say another example as well. I can take the internet and smartphones as an example. A couple of days a week, maybe 2 days a week, I would say on average, I don't look at the internet at all for a full day. So usually this comes quite organically to me. So when I sit there in the morning for the couple of hours, I get this kind of feeling that if I feel confused, if I feel worn out, if I feel rushed in my life, I can sometimes just come to the conclusion that I'm gonna go sans internet today. I'm gonna go without internet today and do other things. When I was a kid, it was a virtue to sometimes be bored. Nowadays, almost no people talk about it at all. I feel it is very important to be bored, because if we are never bored, then we will not really appreciate anything. The small joys of our life, appreciating each other as persons, appreciating our families, our spouse, whoever, is contingent on us sometimes being bored. And boredom is very predictable. Boredom and predictability is somewhat synonymous. It's almost as if we develop this sort of ability, this emotional skill, to learn to like boredom. Boredom is sort of like this soil that very pleasant things grow out of. That is the word I would use, I guess. Pleasant. When I put in boredom in my life, when I put in days without internet in my life, out of this boredom grows these very pleasant and lovely things. I think lovely is a big word to take, but I would actually say lovely. It's like these small, pleasant, enjoyable parts of my life that would be lost if I never was bored. So those are 2 examples out of my life of predictable rest. And if I would make an attempt to generalize this for you, for your life, I know that you are busy. I know that you work hard. I know that you have great responsibilities. I know that you cannot just let go of things just like that. It's not that simple. I know that you have people you need to answer to. I know that you have deadlines. I know that you have lists of things to do. I know that you're doing your very best. And I really appreciate that you do that, because if you wouldn't, then society would collapse. It is upon your shoulders that all the good things we have, all the good things we still have, it's upon your shoulders all of that lies. You are the one carrying all of that. And that is why I'm working really hard on my part to find ways to help you achieve similar predictability in your life. I want you to do what you do, and I want to do what I do so you can keep doing what you do without collapsing. I've collapsed a couple of times in my life, being completely worn out, hitting a wall, and I just don't wish that for you. I wish to find ways to prevent that from happening to you, because I really appreciate what you do. I'm a big fan of what you do. All the good things, all the accountability in society, it's because of people like you. So I would say, maybe if I'm generalizing what I just told about my personal examples, but generalized so you can make something out of it, I would say give a little thought to how you spend your mornings and your relationship to internet and smartphones. You don't have to change anything, not at this point. Just give it some thought. Because I think a lot of predictability can be won by focusing on those two things, our mornings and internet, or our relationship to internet, or maybe more correctly, our relationship to the absence of internet, our relationship to boredom. You know, the boredom we knew as kids. The boredom we knew as kids. Give that a little thought. That's a good start. So I think that's what I wanted to talk about. Do you have anything you're thinking about, or a question or something?
Maybe just a thought. That it's just my thought about this, but I have a feeling if you start by working at your falling asleep and waking up in the morning, then working on all other things will be a lot easier. Not easy, but easier.
Yes, that is very true. That is exactly true. This situation, the sleep situation, the blue situation in our star framework is in many ways the best place to start. Because when we get predictable rest, when we are fine with our sleep situation, then we have the energy and the attention needed to address all other things. If we have no energy and if we hate our sleep situation, we will simply not be able to focus at all. We will not be able to focus enough to learn anything. So then anything you would hear from me would be just empty words going in one ear, going out the other. So, just as you say, Elsa, I think the sleep situation is a very good place to start when going about emotional skills, when aspiring to achieve greater emotional health. Sleep and rest is about predictability, safety, trust, sort of the way life feels, the fibers of life, the quality of life, to have a life that feels meaningful and worthwhile our effort, our great effort. Sleep is a very good place to start. Or I should say, rest is a great way to start. Predictable rest. Was that sort of what you were thinking about? So I guess that's it for today. So let's make 2024 a year better than we might think. Let's be open to that. There can be some nice things as well this year. It doesn't have to be all bad. Thank you.
Thank you.